The figure 8 fencing knot is a simple, easy fencing knot that you need to know. Today I'm going to show you how to tie it, then we're going to show you how it strains up, then I'm going to put it on the fence stay test bench. I'm going to find out how strong it is. Make sure you're wearing your safety glasses. Let's get started. The figure 8 knot is perfect for joining two wires that are not under tension, like when you're starting a new roll mid-run. There are better knots for straining and tensioning wires. Check out my channel for more information on them. To make this knot easier to follow, I've given each wire a separate colour. First, put a simple pigtail in one of the wires. It really doesn't matter which one, and make sure that it touches where it crosses over. Now, tying this knot is quite easy if you remember under and over. Because we brought this wire over the top, this wire now has to come underneath, and the two main sections of wire here stay parallel to each other while we're tying the knot. We repeat this pigtail at the other end, remembering the opposite rule, under and over. Because we just went over the top of this wire, we now have to go underneath this wire when we tighten our second pigtail. Now, because we just went underneath this wire, we have to go over it on our next twist. And because we went over it here, we have to go underneath this wire. So all you have to do is repeat the pattern of over, under, over, under. Then the two wires pull together and you've got a figure 8 knot, making a pigtail. This wire's over the top, so this one has to come from underneath. Keep the two main wires parallel. Because this one went over the top, this one has to go underneath. Bend your pigtail, put it underneath. Because it went underneath, put it over the top of this one and under that one. There's your figure 8, that'll tie up nicely. We'll put a board up to make it easier to see. Last but not least, finish your knot off. Now, you can either tie these two dags to the wire. Some people love to do that. I think it's a bit of a waste of time because it doesn't add strength to the knot. I just simply trim them off with a pair of side cutters, leaving a nice little neat knot behind that you'd never know was there. Okay, my favourite part, it's time to do science. So we've got the fence stay torture rackle set up. How does this work? There's a bottle jack at this end that actuates a lever that pulls and stretches the wire apart. The wire's supported at either end by a spiral fast, which is the only joiner strong enough to allow a bench like this to work, and that focuses all of the energy onto our subject knot at the centre, and we find out how many kilos of strain tension we get to before this knot breaks. To do that, I'm going to be setting a camera up just above the crane scale, and I'm going to be running this camera and that camera at the same time. Now, of course, it's all very well to know what strain tension this knot will break at, but every wire has a different strain tension, right? And a breaking strength. So what we're going to do after this test is set this wire up without a knot in it and find out what its breaking strength is so we can calculate a percentage. Rightio, let's science the heck out of this. I like science. I'm going to go nice and slow so that we can get a good measure of the strain tension. In case you were asking, this machine does come with a guard. I'm just not using it. Nice and slowly. There we go. So just in case you're wondering, the figure 8 knot always breaks where the wire is twisted. The compression force is actually being pushed onto the bends, and that's the Achilles heel of this knot. So now what we're going to do is we're going to strain a length of wire from the same roll. It's 2.5mm high tensile wire, and we'll see what the breaking strain of this particular roll of wire is, and then we can find out the percentage breaking strength of the figure 8. I can feel it lengthening. Anytime. I think we just broke our camera. I don't know if you can see this, but it's really cool. When the wire breaks, the galvanizing actually pulls away from the inner core, which shrinks at the break site. Kind of cool. Okay, so take two. I've put the camera on a tripod this time, so hopefully the shock doesn't shut it off and make it lose its memory, which is what happened last time. So I've got another bit of wire from the same roll, 2.5 high tensile, secured with the same spiral fastest at each end. Scales are zeroed. Let's break some wire. That tripod feels like me when I go and visit the accountant. All right, let's go. So we're up to 182.5 already. It's starting to feel a bit tight. So it's already well beyond recommended strain tension. 365. Now we're into the stretch zone. You've got your recommended strain tension, then you've got the same again, and then after that the wire just stretches. Okay, don't panic, it's maths time. We've got 331 kilos brake tension for the figure 8, divided by 478 kilos brake tension for the wire, times it by 100, we end up with 69%. So if you like braking stuff, don't forget, hit the subscribe button and give it a like. And I've done plenty of other videos with knots in the past, including one using a test bench like this to compare all of the modern common wire joiners, and some of the results were surprising. I've put a link to that in the description, and there's a little link up there. Guys, I'll see you next week when we get to break some more stuff. I didn't script it.